Here on TVC Breakfast, now time for us to look at what the papers are reporting. The Nation newspaper with the main headline, Economic Climate Now Rides, say Edun, Dangote, Uzodimma, Boris Johnson, Kimon, Boakai, others laud Nigeria's progress. Weekend hope, Aiyedatiwa seeks economic security collaboration among southwest states, says region must shift from cooperation to full integration. SWDC, Rail Reviver, Amotekun upgrade top agenda at SSG's forum. Nigerian Tribune, Ribadu Musa Kuka upbeat about end to terrorism. Terrorism banditry to end soon, that's according to NSA. Nigerians can now sleep with eyes closed. Musa, defense portfolio now in very good hands. That's according to Bishop Matthew Kuka. Platform Times is next. Weapons alone can't save Nigeria. That's according to Ribadu Kuka. Sultan 1 insists sustainable peace must begin within communities. Security agencies alone cannot restore stability. Next is Blueprint newspaper. Citizens bearing arms in self-defense, not way out of insecurity. That's according to Kuka. Nigerians will sleep with two eyes closed. Musa Ribadu. And good news here, which is the troops rescuing 318 kidnapped victims for oil theft. Nigerian News Direct. Defense Minister, NSA talk tough on securing Nigeria. Red Riot Act to terrorists, declares zero tolerance for sabotage. This Nigeria, military rescues 318 kidnapped victims nationwide, says Defense Headquarters. Eliminates scores of terrorists in targeted air maritime strikes. I won't give excuses, Musa. Next is Leadership Friday. Expose, prosecute terror sponsors. Arewa Forum, oil workers, others tell Tinubu. And next is Daily Independent. Telcos face scrutiny over poor QoS, that's quality of service, despite tariff hike, debt paid. Next is the Punch newspaper. Big diplomatic overhaul. Tinubu 65 envoy picks brace for Senate storm. Ex-Rivers administrator, 30 politicians. Others make list. Send it to screen list in 1 week. And Nature News newspaper, very important topic here. Global plastic pollution to hit 280 million tons by 2040. And last but not least is reporting dates for AFCON stars. FIFA's new orders hit Nigeria hardest. And Super Eagles coach laments at NFF's technical committee meeting. Clubs to release stars from December the 15th. Yeah, we're here with Etoma, Olamide, and of course myself. Will be missing Ria today.
I miss her so much.
But she's somewhere cheering us, from the back room. Yes. All right, then let's look at it. The Nation newspaper is saying that economic climate now right. Say Edun, Dangote, Uzodimma. We have Boris Johnson, former British Prime Minister. Ban Ki-moon, I think used to be U.S. Secretary, United States, United Nations Secretary General. Secretary General. And then we have Joseph Boakai and others, lauding Nigeria's progress. It is visible to the blind that we are actually recovering. If you have the Bretton Woods of this word, whose job, forgive me to say, is the job of an economic hitman. Let's see how we can debase this economy. Let's see how we can bring it down. But Nigeria seems to be, topping, all of the shenanigans, and they are recognizing the fact that we are stabilizing economic-wise. Our naira is stabilizing. Our economy is actually going up.
Yes, and Nigeria is economically ready for foreign investments, for a whole lot of business collaborations within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I must commend this administration because when this administration came into power, it was a really shaky economy that we had. And look at the numbers now. Inflation has really gone down, 16 point something percent. And so many other economic indices are stabilizing. And Ban Ki-moon, I would like to talk about Ban Ki-moon.
I saw him yesterday. I was like, I know this face because I didn't catch the live. No, I saw the live, but I didn't catch it from the beginning. I didn't see. But this person looks more like Ban Ki-moon.
Yes, he was a very, do I say flamboyant or very iconic Secretary General of the United Nations. And he said that he doesn't know what Nigerians eat or what we do, that if he has to reincarnate, he will want to come back being
Amazing.
a Nigerian, because Nigerians are always happy. You know, Nigerians are always
We're
happy.
happy-go-lucky people.
But let us look at his competence to make the statement he made about our economy. The man has superintendent over several nations' economies.
195 of them.
195 of them. So he is very, very qualified to make a statement like that, and we take it seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a very good journalist if I didn't talk about what's going on online. The public sentiment with the statements by Ban Ki-moon and Boris Johnson, a lot of people online did feel like it was very tone deaf. They said that, you know, you're not in the everyday financial hardship of Nigerians. Yeah. All you have are the figures that you go by, but you're not here in our day-to-day lives as we are struggling. I will say this, there's a big disparity between the macroeconomy, the figures, FX inflows, you know, they're looking good on paper, revenue, inflation, they're looking good on paper, and the microeconomy, which is SMEs and households. There's a disparity there. So a lot of Nigerians find it hard to maintain economic optimism when there's such financial hardship. What we're waiting for now is for those figures to catch up to our daily lives.
Absolutely, and I think it's actually catching up. What's it called? A bucket of Gary is 1,500. Some are even selling it lower than that. The last time I bought it was 1,800. And if you look at pepper, it's also down. If you look at tomatoes, it's also very much down. What I was used to buying for like, let's say 30,000 naira, now I bought it like 2,500. So you can see the disparity.
I wish we could say the same for transportation.
So, but I agree with that when she talked about housing. You know, housing is a problem for the majority of Nigerians.
Transportation.
Because even if you look at the price of eggs, you know, it should have come down because the price of maize is down. But some of these problems are actually caused by us Nigerians. We do not want anything that goes up to come down like age.
Ibrahim, you can relate with that as you're a year older today.
Come on. All right, then let's look at the weekend hope. Ayedatua seeks economic security collaboration among Southwest states, says region must shift from cooperation to full integration. SWC Rail Revival and Telco upgrade top agenda at SSG's forum. Southwest is relatively peaceful when it comes to security. Southwest is also doing well economically, and we want other region, you know, the northern region, the southern region, I mean the southern region, I should say, you know, doing, you know, very considerably well. We have been advocating restructuring, and I think all regions must start competing, you know, in a fair way.
I heard that Iwa was talking about regionalism, and that is pushing towards true federalism. That's that we have been talking about. Mr. President is ceding some of those things in the exclusive list to the states now. So we are slowly but surely moving towards true federalism.
That's right.
And when he's talking about, look, let's forget about collaboration, let's do these things together, it's because he has seen that doing it together makes things much, much easier. I mean, how can we be talking about collaboration when both of us have the same problems? You get? Yeah. What bites me is what's biting you. And do I have to come tell you, look, we have to collaborate and get this thing done? This thing is biting both of us. So let's flush it together. That's what Ayedatua is talking about. And the regionalism that is being preached now is something I think other parts of the country like the southeast and the south that are not making so much noise about it, they should start making some noise about it. They should start looking at it from that point. Because when we were regions, we did a whole lot of good things.
That's right. Olamide, let's move on to Nigerian Tribune. If you look at Nigerian Tribune, also Platform Times, as well as Blueprint Newspaper, they all agree. They're all talking about insecurity precisely. Nigerian Tribune saying Ribadu Musa Kuka upbeat about end to terrorism, and then they now said Nigerians can now sleep with eyes closed. That's credited to Ribadu as well as the new Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa. Ribadu also saying that, and Kuka Sultan also warning that weapons alone can't save Nigeria. How do you approach this? We've known for a very long time that Nigeria is past the place of, you know, firepower being our last hope. We know right now that there's intelligence in terrorism, what's the word?
Fight against terrorism. Okay, that's what you're looking for.
There's intelligence that is far past firepower.
That's right.
We're far past shooting a gun. We need strategic approaches, and we need a revamp of our security architecture. We know that firepower alone is not enough. Absolutely. But I will say this headline, Ribadu, Musa, and Kuka, they are upbeat about the end to terrorism. It's important to note that these three people are covering each corner of society. We have Reverend Kuka, who is a religious man, who is a reverend, who has seen the plight of both Christians and Muslims in this country. And so he's qualified to talk about the state of security. We have Christopher Musa, who's been at the front lines, who understands what's going on in the deep, forest where all this insecurity is happening. And then we have Ribadu, who has all the security reports and the statistics on paper. These people are the best people to tell us about what's going on. And so if they're upbeat, we must all keep an optimistic mindset about this and see what General Musa has for us.
Yeah, if you look at Blueprint newspaper, citizens bearing arms is in self-defense, not way out of insecurity. We've seen some people either real or maybe they're doing skits. Some of them saying that I'm going to church with AK-47. We've seen these videos, flying up and down. And some people are also advocating Nigerians should bear arms. But Bishop Matthew Kuka is saying that no, we can't do this. Like, it's just going to give you false pretense of, securing yourself, because you're going to be facing bandits, terrorists who have higher firepower, and then they also know the technical know-how when it comes to firing guns. And we don't want to be like the United States, according to every town policy and research and policy, documenting over 45,000 people killed annually as a result of gun violence. 125 people die every day from gun violence. Isn't that disgraceful?
That's 135 people.
25, I said.
Did you 25, say 125,000?
125 every day.
Every day.
In the United States.
Okay, all right. And they allow their citizens carry guns. Yeah. How many die in Nigeria that has not okayed the citizens carrying guns? What about the proliferation of small arms that we've always been talking about? The bandits that are giving us sleepless nights right now, who give them approvals for the guns? All right? It is very clear.
Who sells the guns to them? Where did you get these guns from? We do not manufacture some of these guns in this country.
We in fact, the guns we manufacture are the ones we call shakabula, that kind of Dane guns and things like that. Yeah. My point is, what Reverend Kuka is talking about is a government's approval of citizens carrying guns. Without government approval of citizens carrying guns, citizens are already carrying guns. All right? And we know that there is a need for us to defend ourselves because of the way these bandits operate.
By defending ourselves, are you advocating that we also carry guns?
Whatever you used to defend your... Look, there was... let me quickly talk about this story. In Kogi State, there's this village that was terrorized, and they said, look, enough is enough. And they went into the bush, and they flushed the bandits out of their bush, out of their forest.
I think it's
How did they do it?
Yeah.
How did they get the guns? How did they get the machetes or whatever? It is intelligence. It is intelligence, and every village in Nigeria right now knows how to defend itself.
I think this is more of a psycho-emotive situation that we're giving it credit for. I think the psychology of defending yourself is not necessarily rooted in the fact that you want to be violent. It comes from the core feeling that you are unsafe. And I think rather than telling people, don't pick up arms in self-defense, what we should do is ask why they don't trust that their government or the security operatives can protect them adequately. That is the question that we should be asking. How can we make Nigerians feel safer? Not, don't carry guns, don't defend yourselves. Why
saying don't defend yourselves.
Wait. Why do you feel so unsafe that you feel the need to have weapons in your home? That's the question that we should be asking.
Etoma, myself, as well as everyone back home within this, I can vouch for my family and everyone, your family, that we are stable. Not everyone is stable as to carrying guns.
Yes.
So I feel that we've actually done that social contract by giving it to the government to protect us. That we must advocate. And then they have to get...
Look, sorry, let me just say this before you go. I don't think that Nigeria as a country, the Nigerians are mature enough to carry guns. So I align with Reverend Kuka on that. But that is not the problem.
Absolutely. Well, this Nigeria, good news here. Military rescues 318 kidnapped victims nationwide, says Defense Headquarters. Eliminates scores of terrorists in targeted air maritime strike. I won't give excuses. So General Christopher Musa is telling us there. And then it's good news that we have over 318, rescued so far in the month of November. Let's move on to Friday, Leadership Friday. Expose, prosecute terror sponsors, Arewa Forum, oil workers, others tell Tinubu. Because of our time, we just have to move on to the Daily Independent. Telcos face scrutiny over poor quality of service despite tariff hike. Debt paid. Debt paid, for the USSD. They increased the tariff. I know how much I pay monthly, for broadband, services and other mobile data services and all what have you. You also complained, recently about how much all of these things has gotten us. But at the end of the day, we do not have quality network providing. Quality of service from these network providers.
I don't know why it is like that in Nigeria. Is it that we are not regulating them well enough, or they see loopholes in our regulation, the laws that regulate their services, or I don't get it. And they do these things and just go scot-free. We've just gotten the headline on newspapers. That might be all. We need to do more as a country to regulate these people.
Let's put in context that this was a 50% tariff hike. That means almost double the price. And the justification for this placement of a higher price was the fact that we would get better service. And still, there's a credibility crisis in the telco industry. We still have slow data. We still have weak signals. So the gap between what Nigerians, the service that they're paying for with these tariff hikes and the service that they're receiving is too wide. What telcos need to understand is that when you take a man's data away, you disenfranchise him in the global world. I cannot make my transactions. If I'm a content creator, I cannot make my money online and get paid adequately. You're disenfranchising me because we live in a digital world. It's a shame. It's a problem. You want to position yourself on the global stage, and because Airtel is messing up, you can't do that.
That's right. So looking at the Nature News newspaper, global plastic pollution to hit 280 million tons by 2040. We know something like styrofoam spends almost, it's going to take like 500 years for it to degrade. Most of these things are not biodegradable. If you look at plastic itself, it also takes several years for it to degrade. And some of these microplastics get into our oceans, our rivers. Fish, school of fish is actually, they swallow them, and we in turn eat them.
We eat the fish.
And this causes a whole lot of problem, health risks, for the entire, for the global population.
Yes, somebody told me that plastics are not supposed to be used as containers for disposable things. Plastic should be used for things that are more stable. Containers that like tanks, water tanks upstairs. You have it there.
Central water.
Yes, but for it to be what you use for sachet water, for bottled water and all that, where we do and we throw it away, we'll just keep doing. Right now, we are generating over 6 million tons.
What a lot of people don't understand is that studies are now showing that microplastics actually inhibit our natural processing, which means that our digestion, our neurons, even the way our brains, fertility, even the way our brains fires are not cohesive because of the consumption of plastic. So it's very scary.
Absolutely. Sporting life is lost. Reporting date for AFCON stars. FIFA's new order hits Nigeria hardest. And Super Eagles coach laments at NFF's technical committee meeting clubs to release stars from December the 15th. We had lackluster performance, for the, what was it? Was it AFCON?
No, World Cup qualifiers.
For the World Cup qualifier. And now this time around, AFCON is actually coming, so we must do very well.
Yes.
And all the mistakes that we made, I understand that we have to, rush by moving on.